You know, nothing trolls people more than the truth. So I'm going to use this video as an opportunity to talk about there's only one person that is a criminal, and that is someone with money. Because money equals influence. I suppose a very charismatic sociopath could be a criminal too, even if he doesn't have money, but he's not nearly as successful at it as someone with money. When you think of abusive relationships, that is a sociopath. Someone has figured out a way to emotionally control another human being and keep them in their rut and constantly physically or emotionally abuse them. That person is more of a criminal than someone that just goes out there and points a gun at you and takes your wallet. Because there is more influence involved. There is more spiritual and emotional baggage involved than simply, coercing you into giving you your wallet. So, what is the point of, having these criminal justice systems where we crack down on criminals, like 10-year minimum sentencing and shit? This is why I hate social conservatism. Even though people think I'm a social conservative because I oppose homosexuality, or, they think I'm a misogynist, or some other bullshit. They don't look at it the same way I do, in that in the future, in the whole, as a collective, as a social dynamic. Let me give you some examples. A serial killer. A serial killer maybe kills 5 people in his life, and he does so in an obsessive way where he has to kill them a certain way and shit. Is it bad? Of course it's bad. But is it practical to go after a serial killer? He's only going to kill a few people. He's poor. He's obsessive compulsive. It's really not all that dangerous. But someone that forms a cult is a lot more dangerous, because a lot more people are more likely to drink the punch and commit suicide or go out and kill people because this cult leader told them to. Charles Manson is more of a serial killer than Jeffrey Dahmer or John Wayne Gacy, because Charles Manson actually had the charisma and people backing him up to be a successful serial killer. So yes, Charles Manson deserves to have life in prison, but Jeffrey Dahmer and John Wayne Gacy, not so much. It's not to say that they're not evil, but they are not my problem. They are not your problem. They are not society's problem. And that's what we're not looking at. And that's what the real sociopaths know. And that's why they pursue this whole, crackdown on criminals, because what they really mean is crackdown on poor criminals. You see where I'm going? Because, look at rape. Rape is so horrible. Even if you just mention the word rape, all of a sudden everyone gets their genitals in a knot. And you're a misogynist because you said the word rape and it wasn't automatically you crying and the plight of the women and bullshit. I don't care. I'm just going to come right out and say it. The typical rapist does not concern me. What concerns me is human trafficking. What concerns me is prostitution. Because these people are using sex in a very violent and decadent manner to make money, to make influence. They have empires. They are able to build these houses of whores that go out and make them money, which they then use to influence society and to continue monopolizing the power. That concerns me more than some guy sneaking into somebody's house and raping you in your sleep. I'm sorry to tell you, but I honestly don't give a fuck if someone comes into your house and rapes you or your daughter or your wife or whatever, because it does not matter in the social dynamic. It does not matter in the grand scheme of things. What concerns me is people with power, with money, with charm, and you have none of those qualities. Your assailant has none of those qualities. So if you ask me, there should be more leniency toward murder and robbery and things like that, because usually it's the poor doing this. When the rich do it, they don't call it these things. They don't call it murder when rich people go out and send troops into Afghanistan to kill people in sweatpants and their babies. They don't call it rape when someone opens up a prostitution mill and has girls as young as 15 sucking dick because they don't know anything else in life. They don't call it, child molestation when the Vatican secretly molests their choir boys and they keep it hush-hush. They don't call it these things when the rich people do it. And that's what you need to be concerned about. When I talk about the video game industry, you think the video game industry is the only person guilty of fraud, of market allocation, of conspiracy, of antitrust busting? No. But they're the only ones that matter when it comes to those things. A guy hiring an illegal immigrant under the table because, he's got this small business and he doesn't feel like dealing with the regulations. Yeah, that's bad. Because you know what? We have those regulations for a reason. But he is not a concern to me. He's not a concern to you. What is a concern is the guy going overseas and his entire company is based off the premise of, illegal 12-year-old workers working in a factory all day till they're dead because, in China they don't have laws like that. So they can just abuse them. That's what concerns me. You're not getting this concept that it only matters in the larger picture. It only matters on the scale in which it affects the very fabric of our society and how we perceive good and evil. But yet you want to say, Jim Prophet's a misogynist, Jim Prophet's a homophobe. Jim Prophet is anything you can think of because you don't want to admit that good and evil transcends your personal life. That's your problem. I don't give a fuck. Because, I'm sick of acting like I give a shit about if someone gets killed or robbed or maimed or stabbed or ran over or whatever. I don't. Because it doesn't affect anything. You are the useless eaters. You will continue your life as you did before, whether or not you get the bad news. If someone in your family dies, it will not affect you in any way. You might be a little sad. You might mourn a little. Oh, I liked him. He was a good guy. But you'll continue to pull that lever, you'll flip your burgers, you'll do whatever it was you were told to do by your masters, and nothing will change. These sociopaths, the ones that actually have the charisma and the money and the power and the hereditary throne, are the ones that have made this world what it is, for good or for bad. And that's what concerns me. What concerns me is that a very few people have that power, have that alchemy to change the world according to their design. And that's what should concern you. So the next time someone wants to say so-and-so is a misogynist or so-and-so is a homophobe, think about that for a minute. For what they're really saying is, the plight of the individual is more important than the plight of the working class, the plight of the land being exploited, the air is unfit to breathe, the water is unfit to drink, fishies and birds and fucking every animal you can think of is dying and going extinct. But let's all worry about the poor little woman who got raped. Woo-hoo-hoo. Let's all worry about, one person's sad story rather than worry about the grand scheme of things. That's what gets me. That's what pisses me off about most people, and that's why most people ain't worth a dick. So, that's my second video for today. See you later.